I am the world's biggest underachiever. When it goes to to exercise, I think about what's the quickest way to get it done. And when I love to walk. I don't like to run. I love to walk, and when I walk, I'll get the Google Maps out, and there's a cool feature where you can put a pin and then you can draw a line to figure out, how far you're going to go. So I'll find 4 miles and stop exactly. The person you're about to meet is the antithesis of that. His name is Karl Bushby, and he is right now walking the longest unbroken footpath in history. And I'm talking about some wicked places. He is actually in the walk right now. Good morning, Karl. Where are you right now?
Good morning. Right now I am sitting outside a small gas station about 140 kilometers south of Budapest in Hungary.
Wow. That ain't no green screen. He's actually there. This is
You
unbelievable.
got
This
a nice
unreal.
sunset happening right now as well. So
Yeah.
So this has been like an unbroken 27-year walk around the world since 1988 or 1998. I want to know what sparked this idea, Karl.
you and I do not have time. The short answer, though, is I mean, you could write a book about that simple question, but it's just an enormous challenge. This thing came about while I was in the army. So me and the boys would bounce an idea of one another, and they basically told me that I couldn't do it. And as a young paratrooper, it's a really bad idea to dare a young paratrooper to go and do something stupid because he's going to go and do it. So 27 years later, we're almost finished. We're on that closing stretch.
Where was the
Wow.
starting point? You started where?
It was Punta Arenas, so right down at the southern tip of South America.
And then you went what direction from there? Because I'm looking on the map where you are right now in the
Right.
middle.
So the route basically goes up through into Patagonia and then across into Chile, and then we follow Chile all the way up, and it's all the way up South America, and then you're up through into Central America through the Darien Gap, and then up Central America along the Pacific coast. And then we came into the US, into Arizona, up through Arizona, and then eventually ended up leaving through Montana into Canada, then up Alaskan Highway to Fairbanks. You leave the road at Fairbanks, you cross Alaska into the winter, and then
Yeah,
you
but right
end
there
up
in
on the
Alaska,
Stewart
didn't you have to go
Peninsula.
on some ice or something? Like you had to go on
Well, that's it.
that's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Once
Dude.
you leave Fairbanks, you're on basically. Then we have to use the frozen rivers as highways to get to that closest point to Russia, the Stewart Peninsula, right out there, the last facet of civilization, a place called Wales, Alaska. A couple of hundred people live there on the coast, and then from there it's across the Bering Strait, arriving into Russia, into the Brezhnev Peninsula. And then you're through far northeast Russia, into Siberia, and then down into Mongolia, China, Kazakhstan, and then across the Caspian, and then
Damn.
you got the Caucasus, and then you're down into Turkey. Then from Turkey, I'm up into Europe. So
I was going to say, you're just outside of Budapest now, and I know you had some trouble crossing into the border of Russia. But aside from that, have you ever trekked into or through or around an active war zone?
well, yeah, there was the Darien Gap was an active war zone, and we had to basically get from. Everyone, pull out your maps. You have to get from Medellin, and then you get out from Medellin about 50 k's, and then basically you have to get through the front line of a fight between FARC, which was a left-wing guerrilla group that was fighting the Colombian army. This was back in 2000. Um, so we had to kind of I had to get across that front line of the fighting into the jungle, get through that jungle into Panama, and that was an adventure.
Are you making a documentary about this? Do you have a team or do you have anything going on around you I mean, this is so many years of walking. Again,
Yeah,
we're talking to Karl Bushby, walking the longest unbroken footpath in history. You are making a doc?
I'm sponsored by a production company from Los Angeles and have been for the last 15 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
have amassed a considerable amount of video. We're still filming. So that's going to be put to good use.
I can't even imagine the physical toll and the mental
No.
toll this has had on you over the years. Have there been any incidents where you have been injured and had to have gone to a hospital?
I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I think probably the worst one was way back in Patagonia when I ended up trying to fix the machines that I pull and push like this thing. And I stabbed myself in the wrist and ended up literally jetting blood into the desert in Patagonia,
Ooh.
thinking, well, this isn't good. Like in rhythm with my heartbeat, which is always alarming. But I managed to arrest it. And what I happened, I nicked the artery, but I hadn't severed an artery. That was the difference.
Well, that's good.
So I was able to throw some stitches in that and splint it and got away with it.
Like, how much food are you taking in with all the walking that you're doing, and how is your weight? Is it stabilized? Are you losing a lot?
It bounces around a lot. I mean, I eat fine right now. I mean, right now you got little villages and towns, gas stations like this one here. So as long as you got some cash, you can eat pretty good. I mean, not that you'd call gas station food good, but
Some people listening might be like, oh, he's probably, at some fancy hotel. No, he's
No.
on the side of the road in
no,
Budapest.
yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, my weight's fine. My weight. I mean, I eat bad. You eat bad food. This is gas station food that I'm living on. But at the same time, you're walking.
Have there been any towns or villages that know you're coming and they welcome you, and maybe you get up in a nice bed instead of sleeping in the woods sometimes?
Yes, it happens. In fact, it wasn't far down the road there that happened. Maybe a week ago in Romania. I was just before I left Romania. There was a bunch of people that were waiting for me in a village. Someone had driven past. They stopped, confirmed it was me. Then I got to the village, and there was a group of people waiting in the road. And I ended up spending 2 days there.
I'm sure there's so many emotions, Karl, as you approach, the finish line and stuff. What is going to be the first thing that you do besides taking a vacation? Like, what's going to be the first thing you want to do?
not take a walk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because it's going to be a very strange day. The day I walk up
Yeah.
and don't have to I'm not on the mission anymore. It's going to be a weird day, because I mean, literally everything that I've been doing for the last 27 years, and somewhere or another, is focused on making progress. Even those
27
times
years.
that
Yeah.
we've been stuck, like you mentioned about the continuous journey, but it's not a continuous journey in the sense that like I'm doing this every day, because there's been big periods where I've been stuck, stranded, the pandemic, visa bans, the financial crisis. Some of these things have cost me years, where we've had to figure out what to do in the interim. And so, but I've never been home. So always kind of wherever I am, wherever I have to be, we've been focused on trying to get back on the road, or having to be very patient, like the pandemic, where you had nothing but wait for the world to sort itself out.
Going through all these areas, have you ever stumbled into like some kind of crazy ass tribe or something that wanted to like kidnap you and put you on a stake?
No, not that bad, but you do meet some interesting peoples. I mean, like getting through the Darien Gap, you spend a lot of time with the Patagonia Indians. You spend a lot of time in Alaska or Siberia with Athabascans or the Inuit or the Chukchi people, for example. You'll meet a lot of different cultures in some very remote
Man.
parts of the world, which is a fantastic experience.
How can people follow you along besides on Instagram, Bushby3000, right? Are there other areas you send people to? I'm sure people are
Actually,
fascinated.
I think the one to follow me on Instagram is actually the Westbound Horizons.
Oh, okay, because I saw Bushby3000. That's
Yeah,
not you?
that's an old one that still exists.
Oh, back when you just started your walk
just to
out. You've already
confuse
outgrown
people.
it.
It was actually
Right.
that was the first time I used a phone, and that's when I had to walk across the United States after a visa ban from Russia. And I walked from Los Angeles, from my sponsor's base, to the Russian embassy in DC, like 3,000 miles in the wrong direction, while we ran a campaign to try and convince the Russians to let me back into Russia. which worked.
Man, have you got stories?
Yeah, this is unbelievable. So the proper Instagram to follow is which one?
Westbound Horizons.
Okay.
Westbound Horizons.
Yeah, if you can find that, that's the one we've been using ever since the Caspian Sea swim.
Got it. Karl Bushby, thank you for joining us. This is a fascinating story, walking the longest unbroken footpath in history. He's doing it right now, and as you heard, you can follow along on Instagram. Karl, thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a good day, guys.